If you come at the king, you best not miss.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this contest, and
acknowledge us.
Hey, guys, we're here at the Red Carpet Ring. We'll talk about where did NXT go wrong, problems with NXT. We talking about the episode of NXT for December 31st as we prepare for NXT tonight. You guys get the lights as we come into the ring. And as usual, I have you guys do the simple task.
Not real.
Trust me.
But that doesn't do anything, man.
All right, guys, so thank you all for coming out. With that being said, we're going to get into what went wrong with NXT, and we'll cover that right now. Let's dive in. We know this was a big matchup. These two had some tension regarding Stephanie Walker. We'll originally start with Stephanie Walker and Kelani. Then we have a triple threat tag team match. The team of Shotzi and Gigi Dolin. We have the Meta Girls, Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend. And we also had a returning Katana Chance and Kayden Carter from Monday Night Raw. So let's talk about it. Let's get to the show, shall we? All right, this was the first match of the night. First match of the night. We had Kelani Jordan versus Lola Vice. These two ladies, both talented in the ring. You know, they put out everything they could. This was a good way to kick off the show. A lot of good offense from both women. I like how Kelani, we saw her, a different side of Kelani that we normally do not see. We do see that. We did see also Lola Vice. She had a good moves on Kelani, and she was telling Kelani during the match, calm down, as she did the booty move on her. I forgot what it's called, but you guys remember. If you don't remember how this one part of the match.
go ahead, Brooke.
So yes, that was one part of the match. Now the turning point in this match, of course, as Kelani Jordan was getting more offense, they both was getting into it. Kelani was stopping Lola on some stuff. Lola was stopping Kelani. We saw Cora Jade would get involved in the match, cause a distraction. However, it was against Kelani Jordan. It backfired. Kelani Jordan was able to roll up Lola Vice with a bridge to get the pinfall in the match. Now afterwards, Cora Jade attacked Kelani Jordan. And then Stephanie Walker came down. Lola accidentally attacked Stephanie Walker with a spinning back fist, and Stephanie was not happy about that. Now afterwards, we see Kelani, Stephanie, and Lola all argue with each other in the middle of the ring. It was all arguing back afterwards in the match backstage as well. And Cora saw this, and she was smiling, thought she had one over. However, this is when Ava made a match, and she saw Cora was laughing. All four women will be in a four-way match next week at NXT New Year Evil. And these women here will be in this match. Whoever wins this match between the four women, they will be #1 contender for Fallon Henley's NXT Women's North American Champion. And this is the match that was made last night. Now, I will go ahead and talk about this and other matches as NXT New Year Eve has more matches added. And I will also talk about my predictions on these matches as well. But this match is a new match added to the NXT New Year's Evil card. So we're going to definitely hear more about that. But that was the end of that particular match. That was crazy. Very good match. All women do got beef with each other. But let's see what else happened on the show, shall we? And we'll talk a little bit about the NXT end of the year awards too. Let's get into it. The match we had, the next match on the card, we had All EO Ethan Page go 1-on-1 against Cedric Alexander. Cedric Alexander, he wanted to avenge his boy Javon Evans being attacked by Ethan Page last week. We know Ethan Page gave him that work for real. Now, this was a backstage segment, and Cedric was very disgusted with Ethan. He wanted to get his hands on Ethan. And while Ethan said Cedric will end up like Javon Evans, he started attacking Ethan backstage, and it all led to the Reign to have a match. Now, this was a good way to start the match with an interview. Cedric Alexander, when he does have matches, he's having garnered more spotlight, unlike he did on SmackDown, where he previously was. I think him coming to NXT, I initially thought was a bad idea, but it's become a good idea, as I heard in real life that Cedric Alexander requested to go back to NXT to be closer to his wife and daughter because he stays in Florida. So this is a good move for him. But definitely, I know he tried to fight for Javon Evans' honor, but all ego was just too much ego for him. He attacked, he gave Cedric Alexander work, and he got the pinfall in the match. Afterwards, he would attack Cedric Alexander, and Cedric Alexander would get that work again by Ethan Page, put his arm into a toolbox. So that was crazy. But definitely good way to make Ethan Page look like the heel that he is, and he definitely got that work by. Definitely got that work. Cedric got that work by Ethan.
So whether you like it or not, you about to get that work, son.
So this was a good move. I know. Now, however, there is no match announced for Ethan Page versus Javon Evans at NXT New Year Evil. As storyline, Javon is not cleared yet. He's still out with the attack from Ethan Page. But I will say this, that I can't wait to see where the story's going to go next between Ethan and Javon. So very good match, though. I like this match. I like where it went. Very good match. Well thought out. So that was good of what of how this went. Well, let's get on to the next match of the show, shall we? Let's go there. And I believe the next match on the card for the night for NXT, it was, let's see. Let's go to the other match. All right, we had Katana Chance versus Kayden Carter. Katana Chance and Kayden Carter, excuse me, versus the Meta Girls, which we know is Jakara and Lash versus Shotzi and Gigi Dolin. This match, it was okay. It was not my favorite match on the card, but it's to sell a story. Shotzi, I know she just came back. She was a little rusty in the ring. Her first real tag team match back. But Fatal Influence, of course, got involved. They struck the referee. JC Jane knocked down Gigi Dolin during the match. He allowed Lash and Jakara Jackson to connect with a wheelbarrow cutter, and they will get the victory on this match. But Katana and Kayden, they had some good moments. They did a spinning dive outside the ring, both of them. But I know the crowd was right behind them. But it was a good way for them to return back to NXT. But I will say this, I like it was good parts where Kayden took Katana in a handstand from the top rope, putting her onto Jakara for a near fall. That Shotzi and Gigi broke up. I know Shotzi had a very almost, I want to say, almost a botch there. I know when Gigi don't lift the rope, Shotzi dived through. Shotzi got her foot stuck on the rope, and it was a very scary land on the floor. I'm glad Shotzi was okay. But like I said, not my most favorite match on the card. But other than that, and then we had a Unholy Union, Alba Fire and Isla Dawns. They came out. They mocked Jakara and Lash. They came out afterwards. And we know those two, they want to have a match against Jakara and Lash. They said they could beat them once, they could beat them again. But it's good rivalries between the tag teams. With that being said, let's talk about the NXT New Year, end of the year awards. Now, let's talk about the awards here. There were plenty of awards on here. You got Male Superstar of the Year. That award was won by Obafemi, one of the number one contenders for the NXT title. We also had Female Superstar of the Year. That went to NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez. NXT Tag Team of the Year, Nathan Frazier, Axiom. And then we saw the whole WWE ID wrestlers there. But this was it was a good award show. I know Match of the Year also was, but it was Obafemi versus Dijak, who's no longer with WWE, versus Josh Briggs. The triple threat at Stand Deliver for the North American Championship, while Oba was champion at the time. I know Josh Briggs was very happy about that to honor it. I know also Dijak also commented on social media. He said he really appreciated of the work that all three men put in that match. But that was another part of the match. Let's see what else happened on the show here. Let's see. Let's see. I know I saw this somewhere. Here we go. We got Sol Ruka versus Izzy Dame 1-on-1. Again, not one of my most favorite matches of the card. This to build Izzy Dame, and of course Sol Ruka and Zarya. They got the little partnership. Now, at one point in the match, Sol was going for a moonsault. Zarya was watching, supporting Sol Ruka. Izzy Dame pushed Zarya in the way, and Sol Ruka inadvertently hit the moonsault on Zarya, caused a distraction. He allowed Izzy Dame to get the pinfall and win the match against Sol Ruka. So that was a big win for Izzy Dame. Zarya and Sol Ruka, like that's miscommunication issues. It looked like this little portion maybe come to an end, and these two may end up having a rivalry against one another. Expect to have these two have a match against one another at some given point. So that was interesting to see. But let's see what else happened. One of the matches we had going on. Let's see. We have one more match. Before we get to the main segment of the show, let's get to that in a second. But yeah, this was definitely wild, though, to say the least. Definitely wild, to say the least. Well, with that being said, let's get on to the next part of the show. Let's see what else happened on this recent episode of NXT. Now, it was a tag team matchup. They had. It wasn't much to talk about though. But now this was a 6-man tag team match. Now this match here, it was, I want to say, it was, I forgot these guys' name. It was Tyson, Wesley, and the other guy. I can't think of their name. I'm gonna get their name right now. Give me 1 second to get their name. I forgot the name of these guys. You guys gotta excuse me. Okay, let's see what their name is. We had Hank and Tank versus and Andre Chase versus Wesley, Tyson DuPont, Tyreek Agui, sound Nigerian. They had a tag team match. This tag team match here, it was okay. It was average. This was tell the story of Andre Chase teaming up the first time he teamed up since the whole dissolution of Chase U. Wesley tag team with Tyson and Tyreek. They got a win. Andre Chase walked out during the match. He walked out during the matchup last night in NXT. Left Hank and Tank hanging, and they lost the match. It was Tyson, West, and Tyreek winning. And someone asked Andre Chase backstage, I want to go to Chase U. I want to do that. And wasn't say Chase U was done. But that was it for that. So with that being said, guys, let's get on to the main segment of the show. We talked about other segments here. We talked about a lot of stuff going on. Another thing I want to mention before we do get to the main segment of the show, other stuff that happened on NXT. Lexis King was forced to get back his NXT North American Heritage Cup due to the Cupcake changed hands on a DQ. Doesn't make sense because the rule said it can last week. A little confusing. Long story short, Lexis King and Charlie Dempsey, they're going to run that back. They're going to have a match at NXT New Year's Evil. So they'll have that going on. Also, like I said, New Year in the awards. Roxanne Perez cut a promo backstage. Pretty much it. But let's get to the main segment of the show. Now, the main segment of the show, Obafemi, he accepted the Superstar of the Year. He said that he's the ruler. He said that he's the ruler. He said he's the captain now and everything. Now, it was not official that he won the NXT Male Superstar of the Year, but they clarified it on X later that night. He did win the awards, just let you guys know. However, Obafemi still wants to win. He still has aspirations to become an NXT champion. Now, during that trick came out, he called out Obafemi. Talked about how bad he acted after losing the North American Championship. He also stated that, after he lost the North American Championship at Halloween Havoc, tried to regain it, he took a break and left. And Trick Williams said, you will do the same thing after you lose at NXT New Year's Evil when you fail to capture the NXT Championship in a triple threat against Trick and Eddie Thorpe. And after all that, while they were talking, like it was getting real tense between Oba and Trick, Eddie Thorpe came from behind. He attacked both men. Trick outside on the apron. Obafemi, he hit with the awards. He knocked his head off. And he's standing tall with the NXT Championship. Last week, it was Oba standing tall with the NXT Championship after attacking Eddie and Trick. This week is Eddie who's standing tall after attacking both Trick and Oba. And that was the end of NXT for December 31st, 2024. With that being said, let's talk about NXT and where does the rating lie? Where do I rate this particular show? Solid NXT, guys. I will give this show. You know what? I gotta be a little harsh. I'm gonna say exactly a 4, but a 3.5 out of 5. It was okay rating. It was okay show. Some matches were were not up to par, but the storylines were up to par. So it kind of evened itself out. It wasn't the worst show, but it wasn't the best show. And we know they have to save the show for NXT New Year's Evil. So that's how I thought of the show for this week's episode of NXT. But like I said, NXT, they always bring it. They always do. And they do everything they can. And we have to know by now, for those who follow NXT, especially if you follow my channel, as long as I cover NXT, you guys should know that before a PLE or a TV special like NXT New Year Evil, you have to know at this point, the go-home show doesn't always be elite. They try to savor that for the next PLE or the TV special. We have to know that going in, guys. It's just a given. That's how things go. But other than that, though, that's what I got the rating on the show. Now, you guys here also, you guys can let me know what you think of the show, and let's see what people are saying around in the community tab about the show. What are they grade NXT? 77% people gave it an A. 15% gave it a B, 4% gave it a C, and 4% gave it a D or F. Cast your vote on the community tab. But what do you think of this particular show? Did you guys think it deserved that rating or not? Well, you guys let me know. I would like to hear what you guys got to say about that. But like I said, we do have NXT New Year Evil just around the corner. So we're going to wait and see what happens. We're going to see how this is going to go. But other than that, though, guys, that's my rating of the show. Now, we're going to get into what went wrong and what went right with NXT, because I do have my concerns. I have my reservations about how things went. So let me get into that in a second. We're going to first go over what went wrong with NXT. What definitely could have been better for the show. So let's go over that right now. All right, let's go over what went wrong with NXT, guys. Let's talk about it. So we'll go over what went wrong first. What could it help to improve the show? And then we'll go over what went right with NXT. Things that did go right on the show. Well, first off, the Soruka and Zarya partnership, it isn't it. It's a very odd partnership. And like I said earlier, this is going to lead to these two having a rivalry or at least a one-off match. It don't make sense. Zarya, I understand they try to keep her occupied, but they need to give her else something to do. So Ruka needs something to do too, and I think they just put the unlikely pairing of these two together. So I'm not a big fan of it, but I understand they gotta do what they gotta do. But that doesn't mean I don't like it. And you know what happens if I see something that I necessarily do not like.
What's gonna happen? No. Words? No, you just made the list.
So that made the list. Let's talk about what else happened. Let's get into that in a second. But that's, like I said, these two, I'm just not feeling it with these two. I'm just not. But let's go over something else I didn't like. Andre Chase needs to start a new character now. And he really needs to get rid of this whole Chase U memories and this persona of it, or what's left of it. Like, it's over. I hope they don't bring it back. It's over. I don't want to hear no more about Chase U. And it's over because her match stipulation against Rich Holland, if he lost to Rich Holland said that Chase U would have to disband. And it's over. And that's that. So I hope the NXT do not drag this. I hope they really keep this Chase U in the dirt where it belongs. Because if they don't, and I see this resurface, you already know what happens if I see so much resurface that I know it's supposed to be done.
What's gonna happen? No. Worse? No, you just made the list.
Definitely made the list. Don't like this at all. And also another thing, what went wrong? Speaking of Izzy Dame, now I know she got to gain a victory this week. Is she gonna partner with Sean Spears soon? Is she gonna partner with him in his little group there? I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm not sure. So I'm not sure how they're gonna do this. But every time I looks up, Sean Spears seems like he's stalking her, like get on her nerves, and she clearly don't want to be bothered. Yeah, even had a segment backstage where Izzy told Sean leave her alone, stop bothering her. And then Tony D'Angelo was like, leave the lady alone, Try to talk about Tony D'Angelo voice. She said, finally a man that listens. Is this in a partnership? If not, if this is like a stalking thing, creepy thing with Sean Spears, I'm not feeling it. And you know what happens if I'm not feeling something like that?
What's gonna happen? No. Worse? No, you just made the list.
Yeah, I do not like this at all. I don't like this at all, not one bit. Not one bit. So we will see what's going to happen next with that. Another thing I did not like on this NXT episode, it was actually mentioned. They mentioned it a little bit. They touched on it. It was one backstage segment of this show. So I don't know how they going with this. But other than that, still needs to be mentioned of what they're going to do next, of what they're not going to do next. But either way, I got to talk about this whole thing. And I don't know. But this was going on for quite some time. Going on for weeks. But I want to see what they're going to do next. So what I'm talking about necessarily, guys, I'm talking about this whole storyline here that they got going on. And I'm talking about it's just I don't know what's up with the storyline. I don't get it. I don't. But we gonna talk about this right now. And what I'm going to talk about necessarily, and I still don't get it. I still don't get it so much. It started off somewhere good. It did. But now it just seemed like this whole story has went left field. And it seemed like it's more, instead of being liberating, it seemed like it's becoming more annoying than anything else of what I see. So let me just go ahead and cut to the chase now at this point. What I'm talking about in particular of the storyline that's I'm really concerned about, I'm really talking about this whole Carmen, Ashanti, Nikita storyline. It's whack now. It started off good with, of course, Nikita getting in the middle later on, but it was really Ashanti and Carmen getting involved in each other's matches. And then these two had a spark start to fly. They teamed up together. Carmen has been on TV past couple weeks. No wonder she had the flu. I guess she's still out with the flu. But either way, the storyline's ridiculous. And they need to get rid of it because I don't see it going nowhere. Nikita keep teasing Ashanti, popping up. Like, let this man hook up with Nikita already. Because it seems like they're going to tease a Nikita Carmen match at some point. Again, maybe have another match, even though Nikita lost to her. But other than that, though, I just don't see it. And you know what happens if I see something I do not like. We already know what happens when we see that.
You know what's gonna happen? No. Worse? No. You just made the list.
Yeah, this is annoying. Mad annoying with this. But those are things I did see wrong with NXT. However, there were some good things that went down with NXT, and we're gonna talk about what went right with NXT. Now, there's some good storylines, good stuff building with NXT that's going in the right direction as it should. So let's go over that, shall we? First thing, Ethan Page, all ego. He's still on the right track. He's doing everything. Everything is still falling into place when it comes to Ethan Page. It's still falling into place. Still falling into place. He took out Javon. He defeated Cedric Alexander, put his hand in the toolbox. They're really building him back up to where he should be. And I'm not saying now Ethan Page is not getting the NXT title no more, but he's still being a legit heel. So I gotta give him his props on that one. Yeet. So looking good for Ethan Page on that. Another thing, Fatal Influence. Say what y'all want about Fatal Influence. Say what you want about these women. They still look strong as a stable. They caused the loss for Gigi Dolin and Shotzi. They still caused that. But they still look good. Still dominant, stable. Fallon, still got the title. So, looking good. I got to give it to him on that. Yeet. All right. So that was a good thing I saw. And also, while we had the subject, Shotzi, Tatum Paxley, Gigi Dolin, they have good chemistry as a group. Very good chemistry as a group. Excuse me, but yes, Shotzi, these three, they do have a good chemistry as a group, similar to Fatal Influence. So I want to give them their props. They doing well, even though they just been a brand new group. So we'll see what happens next for these women. If it's still on here, they still look good as a stable when they had this match. They lost. They still look good in a stable. They still look good. Other than that, I give them their props. Still look good as a great chemistry. Yeet. All right. Another thing I want to talk about too. This may not be the best popular response to what happened on this particular episode of NXT that I'm going to mention right now, but it was needed. It was somewhat needed. I'm kind of 50-50 on this whole thing. Even though Lexus King lost the Heritage Cup, even though he did win it because it was part of the rule book, I think it was the right call to take the Heritage Cup from him because this could set up a match between him and Charlie Dempsey once again at NXT New Year Evil. But I get where Lexus King is coming from, but I think it'll be more satisfying, especially if he wins at NXT New Year Evil next week for that cup. So taking it away, it sucked at first, but storyline, I see why. So that was a good call from NXT on their end regarding this cup being taken away that Lexus won via DQ. Yeet. So I was kind of conflicted on this one, but I get it. Another good last thing I want to talk about, look good on NXT. What went right? Believe it or not, Eddie Thorpe looks strong this week, guys. He looked strong when he attacked both Oba and Trick Williams. Now, we know this man is not going to win the NXT championship. We know that. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. I don't care what nobody say. It's not going down like that. That man's not going to win. He's not. He's not going to win. I don't see it happening. I'll be very surprised if he won. Very surprised. But I don't see it happening. But he did look strong. For the man that's going to take the pin, at least give some offense. And I guess it's the offense that he needs. So I give props for that. I give him props for that. Yeet. Okay, so this was a good part. So very good part for that. So this is a good thing. Good thing. Very good. Let's go over current news in a second. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it in a second. Okay, let's see. Get to that in a second. Let's see. All right, let's go over current news. Current news. All right, social media. It's been Jay Uso went on social media. He said that he's gonna be world champ in 2025-ish. World champion Jay Uso. I don't know if Jay Uso's gonna be world champion, but that's his goal. His goal is to become world champion this year. 2024, he did become Intercontinental champion by defeating Braun Breaker in his first run. Had the belt for 28 days. It was a good moment for Jey Uso, especially for a guy that came from a tag team specialist with the Usos. They did a singles run, very popular with the Yeet catchphrase merchandise, making his mark on Monday Night Raw in 2023. Now, Jey Uso, now he's been Intercontinental champion. That's on his resume. He would like to be world champion. I think that's a good goal for Jey Uso, but let's be realistic here. I like Jey Uso, but it was such a stretch for WWE to make him Intercontinental champion. It took so long to put the belt on him, and it was too late. I do not see them duplicating that same success for the World Heavyweight Champion. And I especially see Jey Uso heading back to being mainly on SmackDown. I don't see this happening. I'm sorry to say it. No disrespect to Jey Uso. I don't think he's world champion material, as is too many men competing for that world title. So normally I give him a yeet, but in this case, this will be a no yeet.
And no yeet.
I don't see this happening. I'm sorry, I don't see it happening. But that's how I see it. I don't see it. So we'll see what happens next. Other than that, though, guys, solid NXT. But we're gonna get to the bonus round. We're gonna talk about it. And we're gonna talk about soon. We're gonna talk about the NXT New Year's Evil. Final prediction. So let's talk about it. All right, so let's get that going, guys. We're gonna talk about it. Give me a couple minutes, guys. We're gonna get this going for NXT New Year's Evil. We got final predictions. We're gonna talk about the matches and predictions. Who do I have winning each card? This is the match card here. Give me a couple minutes. We're gonna get this going and we're gonna get this started. All right, guys, we're here at the bonus round now. We back. All right, we're going to talk about the NXT New Year's Evil final predictions. As you can see, there are 5 matches now official for this card. So we're going to go in no particular order. I'll talk about each match, and I'll talk about what's my prediction on it. So let's talk about it. The first match we will talk about, we got ourselves a 6-woman, I want to say 6-woman tag. Let me make sure I got this on here. Talk about that in a second. Let's talk about it. All right, my apologies, guys. All right, this is the first match we're going to talk about. We got Fatal Influence, which is a team of Fallon Henley, JC Jane, and Jasmine Nix versus Gigi Dolin, Shotzi, and Tatum Paxley. So that's what we got here. Now, with that being said, guys, who do I have winning this matchup? We got two good stables. I just mentioned they both got good chemistry here. I will say that, Fatal Influence been on one. Now, Fallon Henley, her title would not be up for grabs. Not be on the line. So the 6-woman tag team match to help push the brand new stable. It's been a back and forth between both of them. My prediction for this 6-woman tag team match, I got Gigi Dolin, Shotzi, and Tatum Paxley winning this match. So that's what I have for this particular one. We'll see what happens. However, let's get on to the next match. Let's go to the next match of the card. All right, we have a sudden rules match for the NXT Heritage Cup. Lexis King versus Charlie Dempsey. I mentioned this earlier, how Charlie Dempsey did not lose the Heritage Cup. He regained it. He got it back. So I mentioned that. I've also mentioned how anyway, I see Lexis King is going to challenge Charlie Dempsey. I said it was a good move to take the cup away from him. I know it was DQ. He keeps the cup, but they want to make it a sudden rules, which I think is a great idea. One fall to the finish, only one fall. There's going to be no original Heritage Cup rules where it's 6 rounds and all that at 2 minutes apiece or 3 minutes apiece. No real Regal will be in Lexis King corner, but I want to see how this is going to work out. My prediction for this match, I got Lexis King winning, and I think William Regal's will get involved again, and he may try to brass knuckles again, or Lexis King may just win on his own. It was tough for him to lose the Heritage Cup match, and lose the cup only to not regain it. So I think this will be good. I got Lexis King for this one. But let's get on to the next match on the card. Now, this is where we get to the nitty-gritty here. We got a #1 contenders match for the NXT Women's North American Championship, which is currently held by Fallon Henley of Fatal Influence. We got Cora Jade versus Stephanie Walker versus Lola Vice versus Kelani Jordan. Now, Stephanie and Cora been going at it. And Kelani been at beef with Cora. And Stephanie and Lola tried to slow down Kelani because she was doing too much. She had a match with Lola. Kelani beat Lola. And then now Stephanie and Lola, they got their odds now because Lola accidentally attacked Stephanie Walker. So with that being said, expect these 3 women to focus on each other, not so much try to become #1 contender. Kelani Jordan, she's the inaugural NXT Women's North American Champion. I don't see her winning. Stephanie is going to be more likely having a rivalry with Lola Vice. So I don't see either one of those two to kind of X them out. My prediction for this will be Cora Jade. Cora Jade, I said it before, she's been taking L's ever since she came back to NXT. Cora Jade has not been getting wins unless, of course, it's by distraction or cheating. Maybe this could be the first real win for Jade since she returned to NXT, and she could be #1 contender for the Women's North American Championship. This could be a good one for her. That's my prediction. So I got Cora Jade winning this match. CeeLo, you got Lola Vice? I don't know. Her and Stephanie gonna be having a rivalry. They got a beef now. I was gonna say Lola until she started beefing with Stephanie on this recent episode of NXT. But you never know. maybe NXT will swerve. His would have swerved. So with that being said, let's get down to the both NXT and the NXT Women's Championship matches. Let's start off with the NXT Women's Championship. And we're talking about Roxanne Perez, the NXT Women's Champion, the reigning NXT Women's Champion, defending championship against Julia, who won the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge. This will be Julia's second time challenging for this championship. She challenged first at the NXT CW debut back in October. She lost due to return Cora Jade interfering, helping Roxanne retain her title. But now Julia has a second chance of trying to win this championship. Roxanne, I ain't gonna lie, she's been looking strong. She's been looking good. Still looking good. She owns the championship for 8 months now? Since April's NXT Stand and Deliver defeating Laura Valkyria for the title. But I gotta be honest, as much as I like Roxanne, much as I like her, she's doing well. All good things must come to an end. And with that being said, my final prediction on this match, Julia will be the brand new NXT Women's Champion. No Cora Jade interfering. Nobody else interfering. No Stephanie, no nothing. I think Julia's got it in the bag. This may be her match to win. I was kind of conflicted on this one. It's 50-50. Roxanne may win. Julia may win. But I think my final my mark on this is going to be Julia. I got Julia. Speaking for said Roxy. CeeLo got Julia. It's a good toss-up. Both women are very talented. And they both have a good reason to win this match, whether it's Roxanne retaining or Julia gaining the championship. But I got Julia for this one, guys. We'll see what happens next week on NXT New Year's Evil in Los Angeles, California. Now, with that being said, let's get to the main event, the final match on the card. And we got ourselves a triple threat. We got Trick Williams, NXT champion, defending championship now against not one man but two men. Obafemi, who won the men's Iron Survivor Challenge at Deadline. He wants to become NXT champion. He's the ruler. And then we have Eddie Thorpe, who connived and slipped his way into the title match. He was originally in the Iron Survivor match until he staged a story to put himself out. And Oba took his spot, who ended up winning the whole thing. Now Obafemi, he's been waiting. He wants to win. Eddie and Trick already had a one-on-one match. It ended with Trick retaining. It was a controversial win. But it can't be one winning situation. Obafemi, he is a beast. No pun, he really is a beast. The most dominant man in all of WWE, not just NXT. Now, since he is the most dominant man, I will say that Eddie Thorpe, we know he's not winning, let's be honest. He don't have a chance. I mean, he really has no chance. I mean, literally none. And his chance is so bad, I got to play it.
No chance in hell.
And when it comes down to it, who is going to win this match? I don't see it being Eddie or Oba. My final prediction for this match, for the triple threat for the NXT Championship at NXT New Year's Evil, Trick Williams will retain. Now, what's going to happen is Obafemi's not going to take the pinfall. Eddie's going to take the pinfall. Trick will pin him with that trick shot move, and he'll retain the title. I don't see Oba winning. It's going to be too obvious. I could see Trick winning. Trick going to win. You got Obafemi. I got a feeling he may not win. We may get an upset. Everybody wants Obafemi to win, including myself. But I don't think it's going to happen. I don't see it happening. I don't. But could be wrong. I see Trick Williams winning and still retain his title. And besides, if Roxanne's going to lose the NXT Women's Championship, I don't see how both champions are going to lose their title on the same night. On free TV, nonetheless. Not a PLE. I don't see it happening, guys. I really don't see it happening. Trick Williams will retain. Now, that doesn't mean that Obafemi is singled out from never winning the title. He will win that title at some given point. But I said it before in a video when I talked about Trick and Oba. I said that Obafemi and Trick is an NXT stand and deliver type of matchup. That money making matches for that, not for NXT New Year Evil, not even for NXT Vengeance Day. So we gotta pay attention to that. But I have Trick Williams retaining his belt. I don't see him losing. I don't see it happening. I don't see him losing that one bit. I'll be surprised if he were to lose. Because Trick Williams, he still needs a respectable run. He just won a title back in October when he defeated Ethan Page. I don't see why they would have him lose again as quickly. Oba can wait. He can wait. But that's my prediction on that particular match. And my predictions are all NXT New Year's Evil matches, guys. That's actually all the predictions I have. These are my final predictions for NXT New Year's Evil, January 7th, next week on CW, not Peacock, not a PLE, TV special. And these are the people I have. You guys let me know, who do you have winning each match, or who you don't have winning each match? Who's going to retain the title? Who's going to become a new champion? We're going to wait and see, guys. It's going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting. And we talked about NXT Triple Threat Tag Team match. Kelani Jordan versus Lola Vice. But we're gonna see how this is going to go, guys. Seems like a very good one. So get ready for this TV special. And these are all the matches on the card that we have. 5 matches on the card. We have 3 championship matches. We got the NXT Women's Championship defended, the NXT Championship defended. We have the NXT Heritage Cup defended. We have a #1 contenders match and a 6-woman tag team match. So you guys let me know what you think. But you guys let me know what you think. You guys check out the content to the channel. Greatly appreciate it. With that being said, you guys already know what it is at this point. It is OUT.
Something happened this weekend, and I have been struggling with it since I retired, but this weekend gave me closure.
Wow.
It really did. Like, it was fun. Obviously it was fun. I mean, you can't, doing this for as long as I have and being involved.
Like I say this a lot, we're not a sport, we're a movie about a sport, or a TV show about a sport, right? So the interest of all the other...
I feel like the heel turn did wonders for me. There was a sense of reality in that, to where I had hit a point, and the babyface stuff was going great. The Alpha Academy stuff was going great. We had a blast with that. But I'm a realist, and I'm also like a long-term thinker.